Welcome to the Gadget 360 show. Now, normally what happens? What do you always see here? Well, obviously me, I'm like a fixture out here. I'm fixed furniture out here. I'm always here. But on this gadget table, as we call it, there's a plethora of gadgets, right? Today, practically nothing other than one. Two reasons for it. One, we're pretty much doing only a review of this and nothing else. Yes, the whole show, entire show is based on one gadget only. Now, I know that you guys are too smart. I can't pull this one off because you're thinking it's very close to 1st of April. He's starting with his April Fool jokes. Well, I won't do that. We've got a great amount of things. In fact, we've got one of the biggest pieces of news, one of the biggest breakthroughs in technology and innovation that I think has ever come about. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a Redmi TV. I'm going to talk about a new segment we're starting where we'll take questions from you. We're going to talk about this, the only gadget in my hand, the Boomshell, and a whole lot more. Let's get started with today's Gadget 360 show. Now, before we get started, of course, I have to take you through all the news coming in from the world of gadgets and gizmos, but I want to start with what I believe is going to be a momentous occasion. I believe that there's going to be now two times, before this time and after this time. So, think about the whole BC and everything else. We're now entering a new era. Everything that will ever happen will always now be measured by the time before this gadget came out and the time after this gadget came out. I can't talk to you too much about it. We've only been allowed to talk a little bit. I'm going to show you a little. I'm going to tell you a little.
It's finally happened. The dream that everyone has had since the dawn of battery-powered devices. A device that is always charged, never needs to be plugged in, never runs out of battery power. After years of research and experimentation, AFJ, a new startup, has finally made the impossible possible. Yes, now you can charge your laptops and smartphones without dealing with the hassle of plugging them in. The AirCharge AFJ 2021 manages to circulate low-intensity electric waves through the air, which charge the device compatible with this futuristic charger. And this is not a prototype or a concept, it's ready for use right now. This is going to change charging forever and is going to make chargers a thing of the past. 100% charged laptops and phones all the time.
It is now official. You can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. Elon Musk has tweeted that you can now buy a Tesla by paying for it in Bitcoin. The tweet came a month after Tesla's announcement that it had invested $1.5 billion in the cryptocurrency. Musk also tweeted that while the payment format is currently only available in the US, it will be made available for buyers outside of the US later in 2021.
And now we're going to get started with the first big story of this week, and that is a Redmi TV. And we've got quite a major one. Now, quite a few good things in this. It's got Android 10. It's certified by Google. So, the operating system, the smartness of the TV is pretty much out there with the best of the best. But here's one or two things that I have to talk about. Panel, great. Colors, very, very nice. Everything very well done. It's got a great amount of things like great contrast, good viewing angle. All those things are pretty good. Not necessarily one of the best looking TVs. I mean, they've kind of made it a block. It's just all black, which to some people, that's what they want from a TV. They don't want the TV to speak. They want the picture to speak. But I still think that when a TV is off, it should look really, really good. It's such a huge thing in our bedrooms and our lounge that the TV should look good both on and off. Let's take a look at the brand new Redmi TV.
If you were confused between Xiaomi, Poco and Redmi when it came to smartphones, then this review might just add to the confusion. Expanding its TV lineup, Xiaomi has introduced a new range of smart TVs dubbed X under its Redmi brand. Keeping up with the brand's legacy, the lineup promises to deliver high-end specs at an affordable price. But does this formula remain intact in the smart TV segment? We find that out when we review the top-of-the-line 65-inch variant on our show today. Prima facie, the Redmi TV leaves a lot to be desired aesthetically. Supporting an overall black theme, the design is rather traditional and we don't get to see any effort done by the Redmi team to break the monotony. What they have done instead is slap a giant Redmi logo on the back panel, which doesn't really help their case. That being said, the TV does feel sturdy even though it has a plastic shell. While the Redmi TV might have fallen short on aesthetics, it manages to redeem itself with the connectivity options on board. We get 3 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports, an Ethernet port, AV ports, and even a 3.5mm headphone jack. Running on Android TV 10 out of the box, we're greeted with a stock UI layout once we turn on the Redmi TV. Unlike its smartphone, Redmi's Smart TV doesn't have unnecessary bloatware and provides a clean and convenient experience while a user interacts with it. A certified Google OS also means access to a well-developed library of Google apps like Google Movies and even the Play Store, from where a user can download applications from different genres. With an unprecedented internal storage capacity of 16 gigs, downloading these applications is definitely not a problem. With Chromecast built in, we could also screencast our smartphones on the Redmi TV. In classic Smart TV fashion, we do get to see some pre-installed third-party OTT apps on the TV like Netflix and Amazon Prime, all of which run smoothly without any hassle. Finding its way on the Redmi TV as well is the Patch Wall application, which keeps getting better every time we review a new TV from the house of Xiaomi. The UI on Patch Wall has significantly improved over time, and the application conveniently acts as a meta search engine on the TV when it comes to content. On a single search, the app shows what platform is streaming the movie or show that we're looking for. Redmi has played its cards well when it comes to the hardware choices on board. The Smart TV is powered by a 64-bit quad-core A55 processor, which turns out to be the right choice when you're dealing with a TV of this capacity. Now that we're familiar with what is under the hood of the latest Smart TV by Redmi, it is time to do what it is made for, watching content. Jumping right in, we tuned into our favorite movies, making sure we were playing the 4K cut. After all, it is a 4K Smart TV. With the massive 65-inch panel, it felt as if we were sitting between all the action. With a resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels, the TV delivers a bright image output that maintains natural colors. Additionally, with HDR10 Plus support, there was hardly any detail that the TV could not retain. Credit where it's due, the incorporated Vivid Picture engine definitely adds a punch to the video quality. There are multiple image modes on offer, and yes, all of them do bring in a significant change in the color tone once selected. Weirdly enough, we can switch between different image modes only from the home screen and not while watching content, which is a little inconvenient. Supporting this beautiful display is an equally impressive 30-watt speaker setup. These downward-facing speakers support Dolby Audio that delivers high-quality audio output and does not disappoint even at high volumes. Now, the Smart TV might be a giant, but the controller we get in the box is a polar opposite. The Bluetooth-enabled controller is sleek and it comes with an inbuilt mic, which means that we can access Google Assistant using it. And with that, our day with the Redmi Smart TV has come to an end. Living up to Redmi's legacy of delivering great performance at an affordable price, Xiaomi has successfully applied their smartphone business model to the TV market as well. At 57,999 rupees, this 65-inch Smart TV packs in great value without compromising on quality.
We're starting off with a new segment because a lot of you keep asking. So this is a segment where you can send in your questions. It could be about something we've reviewed, something you want to know a little bit more about, like what's happened this time, or something that you want to buy, you heard about it and you want our opinion on it. So today we have a question from Rahul. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hi Rajiv sir, I'm Rahul Panvo from Delhi, and my question is, you reviewed the new iMac with a custom-built i9 processor, extra RAM, bigger SSD and a glare-free monitor. What's your long-term user experience? What all can you do with the i9 different from standard configuration, and are all the upgrades worth it?
Great question, Rahul. You know, that was a top-of-the-line custom build for the iMac. That's not a standard configuration at all, like you very rightly pointed out. Let me first quickly show you a glimpse of our review and the configuration from the time we got it. Then I will come back to you with my long-term usage review. And we'll kick things off with the quiz part that I did. What is big, what is beautiful, what is everybody's dream computer. And this time we're the only ones who actually have the Intel i9 processor configuration. With the i9, this is an absolute rocket. Now look, everything remains the same. In terms of the design, it's all the same. It's been like that for a long time. But you know, I think my philosophy is if it isn't broken, don't fix it. This is still one of the most beautiful all-in-ones you can ever get. It's big, it's beautiful, it's very well put together. The number of ports that they give you, the kind of configurations that you can put together, the screen, 5K screen that comes with it. This is absolutely the best you can actually get.
We went on the new Apple online store in India and picked and chose the most powerful iMac ever built in the world. For starters, it has got all the major upgrades available on the Apple store. We chose the nano texture glass display, the Radeon Pro 5700 XT graphics processor with a massive 16GB of RAM. There's also iMac's own RAM and we chose the 128GB one, which is icing on the cake here. All configurations put together, our iMac is worth a whopping 6,79,900 rupees.
Okay, so you saw what we did. So what all have we done differently with the i9 processor inside it? You know, while it's still, when we are using it, we still feel like we're using like a 2018 computer. So looks haven't changed at all from then. And while a lot of people say, it's still so great looking, I still think it should change. The actual performance and experience seems like it's from 2025, something from the future. From editing videos, heavy stuff, 4K, 8K, creating animation, rendering big, huge images and videos, hyper-threading to any task. This iMac just blows everything out of the water. I was a little afraid that the thermals inside may not be able to live up to expectations, that the performance and everything else it would give would really heat up this computer. But I'm very glad to report it hasn't. Other add-ons, would I recommend a RAM upgrade at the time you're buying an iMac? Well, you can now go to 64GB or even 128GB. But Apple's prices for higher RAM upgrades when you get a custom built one are pretty expensive. Fortunately, the RAM is user accessible and you can add more RAM yourself. I would definitely go to the 128GB part if you want a pure performance machine. Another thing that I would think is worth the upgrade is the graphic card. The one we got, the Radeon Pro 5000 XT series graphic we have on this machine is an absolute beast. Flies through anything we throw at it. It never stutters. One more expensive option we wanted to try out was, and I think this was just because we wanted to see what is this, is nano texture glass option. It's this matte-like finish that cuts glare dramatically, in fact completely. Now unless you can't control the light in your room that may shine onto your monitor, this is one you can easily live without. So in a nutshell, the iMac with the i9 is an incredible machine, way superior to the standard configuration if you're a content creator into video editing, image, photoshopping, anything related that needs serious performance. This is an absolute must-have. Now we're going to do a very interesting segment, and I wish we had done this a long time back because, you know, a lot of people may have saved their gadgetry and their devices. This is when you're out on Holi, and I hope you do go out on Holi, but you know, keep the precautions going, 1 or 2 people, keep your distance and all of that. But if you are going out, you're going to play Holi even with the family. You know, we still tend to carry our gadgets and our devices with us. I mean, phone, because we want to take pictures and everything else. Usually, people have TWS earbuds or maybe even a headphone. And if you're not carrying your phone, then you want to carry some kind of a camera. And usually on Holi, these get completely and totally destroyed. So we're going to give you some tips. Dhruv is going to give you some tips on how to take care of all that expensive stuff and still have a great time while you're playing Holi.
I mean, I can't really play a song right now from a Bollywood movie for Holi because of copyright issues. But what I can do is to give you some tips and tricks and some hacks to make sure that this Holi season, your gadgets are safe and secure while you go out to enjoy. I am Dhruv Mohan and I'm here to help you with all those tech-related problems this Holi. So now we are talking about what you can do before heading out. Well, we will start with the basics. Backup. Yes, that's the most important part. While all of our smartphones do back up their memory and storage simultaneously or at regular intervals, I will suggest you to make sure that you back up your data before heading out for your celebration. Well, if you're someone who's taking out their camera for celebrations, make sure that the memory card in your camera has already been backed up. Yes, what if it gets water damaged and your existing data plus your older files are also wiped out? literally. Now let's talk about packaging. How do you pack your gizmos before heading out? Because trust me, no precaution is enough precaution. Well, I will still try to help you out. Firstly, make sure that for your smartphone you are putting on a hard cover. That is very important. Not only will it save you from your drops, which I am sure everyone is scared of, but it will also protect your phone to some extent from water damage. Talking about cameras, make sure that you pack everything separately. Don't put in batteries along with your camera when you're packing it, because just in case the bag gets wet, chances are that the damage has been done to all your peripherals. Now I'm going to share some Desi Jugaad with you, which I'm sure all of you are going to do, but it's still important that I mention it. You can always wrap your phone in a polythene bag and make sure that it doesn't get wet. It's Desi Jugaad, but it always works. And all these hacks can also be applied for your TWS earbud. Oh my god, damage has been done. What if your phone has met the inevitable? For some, I mean, your phone has been water damaged or your device has been water damaged. Camera, TWS earbuds. It can happen with anything, right? I mean, it's holy. Now what do? This is what you can do. Okay, so I will simply start with some do's and don'ts. Don't try to turn on your phone or your camera just because there is a chance that it will get short circuit. It's a rookie mistake, but most of us do it. In case you turn on your smartphone the moment it gets wet, chances are it's gone forever. And it's same with the camera or any electronic device for that matter. Second step is to make sure that you're taking out all the peripherals of the device. For example, if it's a smartphone, you need to take out your SIM card, and if the battery can be removed, then remove it too. Same goes for camera. Make sure you've taken out the battery and also the memory card. Moving on, this is what you can do. Take a dry towel and gently tap on the device. Make sure that you have sucked all of the water out. You can also use a tissue paper. Now that virtually you have gotten rid of the water, this is what you need to do. The good old rice box. Yes. Take an absorbent material like rice or oats for that matter and put your wet smartphone into that. Do not try turning it on or taking it out of that bag for at least 48 hours. Yes, that's the time that is most crucial. If you leave your smartphone or device for 48 hours into that rice bag, chances are you will get it back. If your phone is still not working, then it's time for you to upgrade. It's the nature's call for you to upgrade your device. Alright, now that I've gotten my phone back, it's time to bid adieu to all of you. I hope you have a great Holi, a safe Holi more importantly, and keep watching the Gadget 360 show. And now I think I gotta run because it's Happy Holi!
Let's take a quick break right now on the Gadget 360 show. When we come back, a whole lot more happening. And now let's move on to what I said is going to be the only device we're going to review on the show. And this one has come up last. It's called Boomshell. It's a TWS earbud from that category. I have to tell you one of the reasons I think this is very, very interesting. So one is the color. The second part is that it's got a very nice, interesting, very cute little box. Actually pivots out like this. Earbuds not too bad. I mean, you're not going to expect absolutely amazing stuff. And they're priced only at around 1,500 rupees. I know you were thinking 15,000. 1,500 rupees. So what do you get for 1,500 rupees?
We have said it time and again, the true wireless segment is making the most noise when it comes to audio products. The range we get to see in this category is extensive, from specs to price point. Today on the show, we are reviewing a TWS product that is on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to the price, but promises to pack in a punchy audio performance. At just Rs 1,499, the Boomshell TWS earbuds personify the term ultra budget. But are they any good? Let's find out. Keeping up with its name, the case of these TWS earbuds is in a shell shape. It is sleek, lightweight and easy to carry around even in pockets. That being said, the case feels plasticky and we doubt its longevity. A peculiar characteristic of the case is how it slides over to open. While it is a unique take for a TWS case, we were not happy with how the slider goes a complete 360 and doesn't stay when we are trying to open it. Once open, we are greeted with the earbuds themselves. Fortunately, the build quality of the case is not followed up on the buds. They are lightweight and yet feel sturdy once you hold them. In terms of design, these buds follow a rather traditional TWS form factor. What sets them apart is the silver finish on the rear end. This is also where you interact with the buds since these are touch sensitive. More on that in a while. Once put on, the buds sat comfortably in our ears and we could confidently move our head without worrying about them falling off. Fortunately, these buds are IPX5 rated, which means they are resistant to sweat, something you wouldn't expect from a device at this price point. Supporting Bluetooth 5.0, the earbuds connected with our smartphone in a snap. And with that, it was time for the main event. We started out slow by playing some classic Sinatra style music on these earbuds. Surprisingly, the music playback was crisp and the buds maintained detail with the audio output. Next on our playlist was some Gen Z hip hop tracks with high bass. While it started out strong, the earbuds struggled on the mids. Also, the sound output tends to get scratchy on higher volume levels. Curiously, this was happening only in songs with high bass. Otherwise, the sound output was satisfactory and better than what we expected. What surprised us most was the accuracy of the touch-sensitive controls. The buds rarely missed out on our commands and delivered quick feedback, which was definitely impressive. We also used the Boomshell earbuds to take calls, the experience of which was just about okay. While we could hear back everything clearly, it was a struggle to communicate from our end. Moving on, the battery life of the Boomshell earbuds. It is definitely not their strongest attribute. With a battery backup of just about 5 hours, we found ourselves hooking the buds up with a charging cable more often than not. And with that, it's time for the verdict. Boomshell TWS earbuds might not be the best in terms of the build quality, but successfully managed to deliver a satisfactory audio performance. That being said, if you are a buyer who can stretch their budget to the 3 to 4,000 rupee range, there are plenty of better options out there for you.
That then was our show this week, and once again I'm going to tell you very quickly that one part of the show was part of our April Fool joke. I hope you got which one it was. I'll see you next week right here on the Gadget 360 show.